Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to True Sim Productions. I am your host from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook. Getting ready to present to you guys race number 8 of 12 for the Barry Elvis Performance and Fab Super Series. Brandon Elvis taking his qualifying laps right here. Second quick in the 54 machine. Oh, loops it and turns, or in the second turn on lap number 2, just shy of the top of the board. Brian Voss goes quick time in the 55. Justin Elvis on track, younger brother of the 54. Elvis going to see the white flag right here. One more lap for Justin Elvis, as he gets a little sideways down the back straightaway as well. Looks tough out there here this evening. Concord, a very tricky track. As Elvis going to complete his qualifying run. Next driver on the racetrack, Chris Smith in the 80 machine. Still looking for his first victory of the season. He's got 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s. Lap number 1 for Smith puts him 6 quick within a 15:29. 15:29 for Smith on his first lap. Second lap comes out of turn 3, comes across the line. Going to slow it down a little bit. He'll be scored in the 6th spot. So we've got 2 more cars to take a lap. Brad Carpenter gets his first lap in. 12th quick in the 31, second lap. Loops it down the back straightaway. So Carpenter going to be starting from the 12th spot. Jeffrey Miller, the only driver still without a qualifying time. We'll see if we can grab a word from our fast qualifier this evening. In race number 8, fast qualifier up in the booth, Brian Voss, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Alrighty, well, qualified on the pole here tonight, just barely ahead of the 54, Brandon Elvis. Going to be rolling off from the top spot here this evening. How can you keep your 55 machine there throughout the entirety of the event?
No clue. First super race and God knows how long. So we'll just see. Might wad them all up in turn 1 and be my fault. If that's the case, I'll sit out and see you guys at 9:30.
Alrighty, well, you're going to be starting from the pole. Hopefully you can keep the 55 machine up there. First start in a while. We wish you luck.
Appreciate it, Winston. We'll see how it goes, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Brian Voss, a regular in the Chestnut Hill Late Model Stock Series on Tuesday nights. We got a doubleheader here this evening at Concord, so he's going to do both races this evening. Starting the night off right, gets the top spot in qualifying. And he will be sending the field to the green flag for the first of our twin 75s. As qualifying nearly to an end. We got about 10 seconds left here, but we'll take a look at the results from last week. Brandon Elvis picked up the victory at Southern National. Adam Fulford came home second in the 71 machine. He qualified third here. Chris Smith in the 3rd spot last week. He'll roll off 6th here tonight. As it looks like the field is ready to get on the grid. On the pole, it is going to be Brian Voss in the 55 machine, rolling off next to Brandon Elvis in the 54. Starting third, Adam Fulford in the 71, going to roll off next to Connor Lee in the 8 machine. Caleb Thompson starts from the 5th spot here tonight with Chris Smith up top in the 80. Brandon Kelly going to roll off 7th in the 9, and then it's Justin Elvis to his outside in the 44. Justin Coleman starts 9th here, and then Dalton Creech to his outside in the 10 machine. Zach Murphy going to roll off 11th in the 29. Brad Carpenter in the 31, and rounding out our field In the 13th spot, the 79 machine of Jeffrey Miller. So the field behind the iRacing.com pace car. Gonna roll away in just a moment. Everybody gonna pull up and get their belts tight one more time. Pace car pulls away, and so does your field. 13 cars coming to the green here this evening. Your points leader, Brandon Elvis, going to start second in the 54. He's got quite the advantage over Chris Smith, 42 points separating the two. Smith going to roll off sixth in the 80. We'll see where they end up after 75 laps. Going to be a short one here this evening, but we've got another late model stock feature. After that, going to be a fun night of racing. We'll see who is able to pick up the victory, or maybe victories. We'll see if somebody can sweep the night. As Brian Voss and Brandon Elvis get the field to the one to go signal. It's going to be Brian Voss and Brandon Elvis leading us to the green. Adam Fulford, Connor Lee behind them. Caleb Thompson and Chris Smith. That's your front six. Let me know down in the chat below, who do you have for the victory here tonight? Twin 75, race number 1, pace car is off to the bottom side of the racetrack. It's going to be in the hands of Brian Voss and Brandon Elvis. Going to make their way through the Coleman Design restart zone, and the green is up, the green is out. We are underway here at Concord. Down into turns 1 and 2. Voss going to get the advantage. Elvis, though, gets a good run up top in the 54. We'll be side by side into turn 3 on lap number 1. Who's going to lead at the stripe? Give it to Voss just by a fender. Voss leader on lap number 1. Elvis trying to make it work on the top side, though, really forcing the 55 machine down to the bottom of the racetrack. So we are 2 laps in. Voss going to pull ahead for now. He is your race leader. We'll try and look from up above. Brandon Elvis pulls ahead in turns 1 and 2 right there. Down into the final corner. Voss going to try and manipulate that bottom lane. Good run from the 55. Give it to the 54 of Brandon Elvis on lap number 4. These two battle down the back straightaway. Just realized you guys didn't have sound. My apologies about that. There we go. We're back underway. Brian Voss trying to take that race lead back. These two battling hard. Elvis kind of backs up the corner entry right there. Going to try and get a big run. Slingshot off the corner. He's going to lead the line, or lead at the line, but just barely. Good racing up in the front of the field. Justin Coleman just set the fastest lap in the 14. He's on the move. He's up 3 spots. Zach Murphy to the inside as well. Meanwhile, up front, the 55 and the 54 continue to battle here at Concord. Ooh, up the track a little bit. The 55 goes. Elvis going to be relegated back to the 2nd spot. He's going to have to battle with the 71 of Adam Fulford now. We're 7 laps in. Elvis going to get back down in front of Fulford and set his sights on Brian Voss, who just took the race lead. He got clear after that little aggressive move in turns 1 and 2, forcing the 54 up the racetrack. Field working lap number 9. Brian Voss, your leader. Elvis second. Fulford third. Connor Lee in the 4th spot in the 8 machine. Caleb Thompson in the 5th spot. And look at Justin Coleman right there in the 14 machine. He started 9th. He is up to the 6th spot, working the back bumper of Caleb Thompson right now for 5th. We'll see if Coleman can get around Thompson. He's got Zach Murphy right there back behind him. Murphy's put up some good numbers in the past couple weeks. Remember, he swept the All-Star races at Nashville Fairgrounds a couple weeks ago. So that 29 machine's had some success this season. We'll see if he can keep that up here tonight. Brendan Kelly, trouble in the 9 machine. He got loose on the bottom right there. As we look back up front, 12 laps in, Brian Voss still out in front. Just trying to do what he needs to do. Really got to save the tires at this point in the race. You want tires at the end. Look at Chris Smith in the 80 machine. He's back to the 9th spot. He started 6th here in this event. Back 3 positions early. Justin Elvis in the 44 machine. He started 8th. He's back to the 12th spot. Not the start of his race that he wanted. As Coleman continues to work the back bumper of Caleb Thompson for 5th. The front 4 kind of pulling away a little bit here. You see everybody kind of through that center corner down the back straightaway. Everybody a little bit different through there. Some electing to go in with a lot of entry speed and push up the track, and then others back in that corner up, and pointing it straight into turn 3. Either way, you gotta get that front end rotated in turns 3 and 4. 3 is Murphy into turn 1, gets tagged in the back by Carpenter, and they go around. You saw it right there on our screen. Murphy in the 29 got into the back bumper of Justin Coleman. As Coleman came up off the corner, looked like he might have grabbed the outside wall a little bit. So we'll try and get to actual replay. Yeah, Coleman up into the outside wall right there. And Murphy nowhere to go in the 29. We'll get a view from a little bit further back. On board with the 29. Yeah, you see absolutely nowhere to go for Murphy. Luckily, I don't think he's going to have too much damage on the 29 machine. Looks like he is clear. But going to be scored in the 7th spot right now after that spin. We'll see what race control has to say about it. But under caution for the first time here this evening. We'll be right back when you return. Or we'll be right back after a moment on True Sim Productions. I'll be right back. I'm your host, Winston Deal. As the field is back behind the iRacing.com pace car, the lights are off, and the pace car makes the hard left turn down the back straightaway, down pit road, and we are going to be back ready to go racing. Brian Voss, Brandon Elvis going to lead the field, as I believe the lights are back on the iRacing.com pace car. Going to give them one more lap to get them lined up. The field with the 1 to go signal. We'll see if the pace car is going to take another lap. Looks like we will. The lights once again back on the iRacing.com pace car. Maybe not. Looks like the field going into turns 1 and 2 regardless. But they make their way through the Coleman Design restart zone, and we're back under yellow again. Looks like the field going to have to slow it down in turns 1 and 2. Sometimes iRacing has trouble with the pace car. As you can see, the pace car speed a little bit slower than what these drivers want to go for their pace laps. As the pace car drops to the inside once again, we'll see if we get the green right here through the Coleman Design restart zone. And it looks like we do. The green is back up. We're back underway. A third of the way through this one, Brian Voss with the early advantage down into turns 1 and 2. Into turn 3 right here, Brandon Elvis right there on the 54. Trying to drive it the long way around, get the run on the top side. He looked really strong up top early in the race. Good run through turn 1. He's going to have the advantage heading into turn 3 right here. 55 of Voss trying to get the front end rotated down low. Leader at the line, going to be Brandon Elvis back out front on lap 27. Brian Voss in the 55. Looked like he was having a hard time getting that front end rotated. We'll see if he can challenge back for the lead. But Elvis is going to lead at lap 28 out of 75. Nearly to the halfway point in this one already. Lap's going to tick away quickly here. As trouble out back. Dalton Creech in the 36 machine is around. Brad Carpenter in the 31 right there as well. Justin Elvis. See what exactly happened to the 36 of Creech. This is the exit of turn 1 right here. Going through the bump. Looks like just a shot in the back from the 31 of Brad Carpenter. Ooh, big impact for Carpenter in the 31. See if we can get another view of that. On board with the 31 right here. Just the bump right there, and tried to let Creech save it, and just nowhere for Zach Murphy in the 29 to go. A big time impact for the 31. I think everybody going to be able to keep it going. But Creech going to be back in the 10th spot. Zach Murphy down pit road in the 29 machine. Likely getting a fast repair after that one. Brad Carpenter in the pits as well. He's a couple laps down now in the 31. Murphy managed to stay on the lead lap in the 29. But under caution for a second time here this evening. Nearly to the halfway point, lap 31 right here. Coming to see lap 32. We'll see if the field gets the 1 to go signal. It looks like they do. Elvis going to take the top side in the 54. We'll see how that works out, but the 54 going to roll from the top side. He's going to have Brian Voss to his inside in the 55. Then it'll be Adam Fulford, Connor Lee, Chris Smith, and Caleb Thompson. As the pace car makes its way to the bottom side of the racetrack, the field going to work their way through the Coleman Design restart zone. Elvis with a big jump right there. He had a big gap. And the green is back out. We're underway. Elvis with a big lead right from the get-go. Voss going to try and track him back down. 34 laps in. Battle for the 4th spot right now. Chris Smith has it. Caleb Thompson, Connor Lee won it. We'll get Lee up on the outside in the 8 machine. Trying to make that outside lane work like we saw Brandon Elvis do. Up front, Adam Fulford in the 71. A little bit quicker than your race leaders that last time. Trying to track down Brian Voss right here for the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, look right behind him, Chris Smith in the 80 machine. He's got a big head of steam. He's going forward in a hurry to the inside of Adam Fulford in the 71. Smith going to take over the 3rd spot. He'll set his sights on Brian Voss. He drove right up to the back bumper of Adam Fulford in the 71. We'll see if he's got anything for your 2 race leaders. We are past the halfway point in this one. Elvis going to be your USA Firearms halfway leader. But Brian Voss in the 55, not done yet. He's right there in the 3rd spot, in the 2nd spot, trying to track down your race leader. Last time by, those 2 running identical lap times. Chris Smith, actually the fastest car on the racetrack last time. We'll see if Smith has anything for your 2 race leaders. 40 laps in, Brandon Elvis, your leader. Voss 2nd, Chris Smith 3rd. Adam Fulford 4th, and Caleb Thompson in the 5th spot. Elvis continuing to lead, stretching out the gap a little bit now. He's been a little bit more consistent than the cars behind him. He's opened up the advantage to 7/10 now. Back behind, Caleb Thompson working the back bumper of Adam Fulford. Ooh, Fulford up into the outside wall. Fulford way up the racetrack. Big time moment right there. Thompson going to get around. Lee going to go by as well. Fulford was on 2 wheels there for just a moment. Keeps the 71 pointed in the right direction. We are 45 laps down here, 30 to go at the Concord Speedway. Look at the 2nd spot right here. Battle's starting to heat up. Chris Smith really closing the gap in the 80 machine. He is really able to drive that car into the entry, but you see the run that the 55 of Voss gets off. 2 very different lines, but nearly identical lap times that last time. So very interesting. You can make the track work in a lot of different ways. As Elvis continues to stretch out that race lead, the fastest car still last time. As Voss gets around Chris Smith in the 80, Jeffrey Miller in the 79. The 80 of Chris Smith is right there, though. Trying to find an opening to get around the 55 of Brian Voss. Oh, Jeffrey Miller up into the wall in the 79. Pancaked the wall in turn 3. I think he's going to keep it going. But still, we look back up front. 25 to go for Brandon Elvis in the 54. Trying to win back-to-back weeks. Elvis with 4 wins this season, trying to pick up his 5th. Only 3 other drivers have won. Brandon Mettler back in week 1. Justin Coleman picked up the victory at 5 Flags a couple weeks ago. He's got another win as well. Zach Murphy with a win at the fairgrounds. Other than that, it has been this 54 machine. 22 to go at the line. We look at the battle for a second. Smith still there in the 80, just has not found an opening to get around the 55 of Brian Voss. So we've got 21 laps to go. Connor Lee starting to close the gap to the back bumper of the 04 machine. He's trying to take the 4th spot away. So here comes the 8 of Lee peeking to the inside. We'll see if he's got the run. Ooh, drives it into the inside of turn 1. Thompson up the racetrack a little bit in the 0-4. Lee to the inside once again. Looks like Thompson going to back out in the 0-4 and try and get back down in front of Adam Fulford. He is able to do so, but move Connor Lee up into the 4th spot. Brandon Elvis, 1.2 seconds is the advantage. Zoo back behind. Brian Voss had a little bit of trouble there in turn 3 that last time. Tires really starting to go away on the 55 machine. This time around, they work through turn 3 right there. Elvis going to see 15 laps to go. 15 to go for the 54 of Brandon Elvis. As he is really stretching out the gap now, nearly 2 seconds the advantage. As Justin Coleman creeps up to the back bumper of Caleb Thompson, trying to take away the 6th spot. Adam Fulford able to get by into the top 5. Coleman trying to take away P6. $12 laps to go for Brandon Elvis. As we look at the battle for the 2nd spot, Chris Smith right there on the back bumper of Brian Voss. He's trying to find a way around. We'll see if he's able to do it. But Elvis going to see the hands out of the flag stand. 10 laps to go here at Concord. Ooh, Smith into the outside wall for 2nd. That's going to squash his chances for a 2nd place finish. He's going to have company from Connor Lee in the 8. Is Justin Coleman able to get around Caleb Thompson? Zach Murphy trying to do the same in the 29. Up front, it is Brandon Elvis by 2.5 seconds almost, 7 laps to go, putting on a dominant display of driving here at the Concord Speedway. Remember, this race was only 75 laps, and we had 2 cautions in there at the beginning. So in about 40 laps or so, Elvis has opened up this lead to 2.5 seconds. As, big time trouble. Smith into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. A huge hit right there. Not sure what happened. But Lee in the 8 and Smith in the 80 machine were battling. Looks like out of the corner. Smith just into the outside wall. Connor Lee nowhere to go. Big time impact in turns 1 and 2. In turn 1. Try and get a view on board with the 80 of Chris Smith. Off the corner right here, just a little bit too much gas into the outside wall. And around he went and backs it right into the fence. A lot of damage on the 80 machine. Missing the back bumper right there. We'll see if these guys come down pit road. Looks like your leader's going to stay. Quite a few cars did come down pit road, though. We'll see if anybody's able to get tires and come back out in a decent spot. Looks like Coleman going to be scored in the 6th spot right now after getting a set of tires. He's going to have to get around Brandon Kelly in the 9 to get up into the top 5. We'll see what he's able to do. The field going to be going back to green with 2 laps to go, so we'll have a green-white checkered finish. Lights still on the iRacing.com pace car. But Brian Voss going to be back up to the 54 of Brandon Elvis. We'll see if he's done any tire saving over the course of this run. But Elvis had a heck of an advantage there at the caution flag. 2.5 seconds to the 55 of Brian Voss. So Voss going to have to do a lot of work here on this final restart if he wants a shot at the victory here tonight. But I believe the white flag is up. Elvis going to take the top lane once again. He wants that outside going into turns 1 and 2. Last time he was able to get clear into turn 1. We'll see if he's able to get a good start like the last one he was able to get. As the pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. It's in the hands of the 54, Brandon Elvis once again. Brian Voss to the bottom side. They're going to make their way through the Coleman Design restart zone, and we are back underway and racing. Good jump there by the 54, Brandon Elvis. He's going to get down in front. Here comes Adam Fulford in the 71 trying to take the 3rd spot away. Field into turn 3. One more time right here. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Brandon Elvis. Elvis in the 54 trying to pick up his 5th win of the season. Look at Coleman up to the 4th spot. But through turns 3 and 4 at the stripe, it is going to be Brandon Elvis picking up his 5th victory of the season. Win number 5 for the 54 comes in race number 8 at Concord Speedway. Elvis put the gold in this car and really dropped the hammer. He's got 5 wins on the season, 7, actually make that 8 top 5s. 8 straight top 5 finishes for the 54 machine. But he is going to burn it down on the front straightaway. We're going to be right back here on True Sim Productions. I am your host from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook. We'll be right back to wrap things up in just a moment.
Racing is...
Alrighty, folks, we are back here on True Sim Productions. I'm your host from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, Winston Deal. We're going to grab a word from our top three in just a moment, as we'll see if we can get them all up into the broadcast booth, starting with our third place finisher in the 8 machine, Connor Lee. Connor Lee, up in the broadcast booth, you get a copy.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, well, you started in the 4th spot here tonight, rode around into the back half of the top 5 most of the evening, ended up in the 3rd spot. How'd your race go?
Not bad. You don't usually get to race these much, but since they're on Tuesday, I was able to make it this time. It's pretty. I felt all right. You know, like you said, kind of ran fourth, got shuffled back there, one of those restarts, and ended up just slowly picking them off. And unfortunately, Tad Chris, when he got in the wall there, that was definitely not intentional, but nothing you can really do there. But kind of backed in, but I think I had a pretty good shot anyway of getting to 3rd place.
Yeah, definitely looked like you had speed here in the 8 machine. Obviously, that little bit of contact with the 80 machine of Chris Smith, but obviously racing, nothing you can really do there. Not a lot of room here at Concord. Either way, anybody that you have to thank for your 3rd place finish here tonight?
Sponsored podcast Chicken Bowl and Alley. Check us out on Monday nights. Other than that, just had a good time racing and look forward to the next one.
Alrighty, well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish here in race number 1. We wish you luck in the 2nd race of the evening.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, that was Connor Lee, driver of the number 8 machine. Now to grab a word from our 2nd place finisher in the 55. Started on the pole here this evening. We talked to him earlier on. Comes home in the 2nd spot here tonight. Brian Voss, you got a copy.
Yep, gotcha.
Alrighty, well, we talked to you earlier on. Said you said it was your first super race in a while. Didn't know how it was going to go. Well, you ended up in the 2nd spot. Battled with Brandon Elvis quite a bit there early, but looked like that outside lane just prevailed.
Yeah, we didn't need a caution. I mean, maybe I should have picked the top, but maybe just like I said, the inexperience of running these supers and also the track as well. I think I haven't ran Concord since we last ran here in the All Stars a couple seasons ago. So really didn't think that I would have the advantage on the top, so that's why I picked the bottom. But clean air was definitely an advantage. I think Brandon will tell you the same here shortly. I could really dictate when I was out front, and then when he got out front, it was just plowing. Like you just had to back up entry, try to wrap centers, and like nothing you could do from in-car adjustments would help it seemed. But I'll take P2. Like I said, not running the supers and qualifying to pole with these guys. I know they do it week in, week out, and go to the same tracks. So I felt we made a somewhat of a good statement here tonight. But we've got to congratulate Brandon. He was hooked up for sure.
Yeah, he definitely had it figured out in the 54, but you still had a great run in the 55. Anybody that you have to thank for a good run in race number 1 here tonight?
Yeah, man. Jay and Scott, On Tap Dispense Services. We got the draft scheme here tonight. I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast or not if you haven't refreshed, but we got like a draft beer all the way wrapped around this thing. Looks pretty sweet. Hoping to run supers all year long, but just didn't work out with its scheduling, so we can only do the late model. But yeah, Jay and Scott, On Tap Dispense Services, Sugar Moss, Cakes and Confections, Florence Motor Speedway, Rain Total Body Fuel, Fuel by Miller Lite, Barry Elvis Performance Fabrication for putting on this league and sponsoring you guys in the broadcast and all the guys at All Star.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Brian Voss, on your 2nd place run here in the Supers. We wish you luck in race number 2.
Yes, sir. If you don't hear from me, beer money for the crew, though, part 1.
Alrighty, yes, sir. Alright, folks, that was Brian Voss in the 55 machine. Now to grab a word from the man of the hour once again, grabbing his 5th victory of this season in the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication Super Series. Brandon Elvis up in the booth. You got a copy.
Amen.
Alrighty, well, started in the 2nd spot here tonight. Just missed the pole from the 55 of Brian Voss, but you guys battled pretty good there early. That top line seemed to be the way to go, though.
Yeah, I really had no idea that it would be until that first run. I was like, all right, well, it's working pretty good here. I think I got it right front a little bit too hot, kind of overdrove the car. Had to cool it back down, and I think we almost made contact one time, and it would have been a disaster if I would have stayed in it. So just kind of took my medicine at that point of the race. It was still pretty early and backed off. Got another opportunity to be on the top, and it worked out. The car actually was pretty decent up there, as tight as it was, tight as the car was. You could really just kind of hold the whoever was on the inside of you down coming off of one there and into the dog leg, and it really kind of mess up that person's momentum. So Brian's a heck of a wheel man, and it's fun to race side by side with him. That's for sure.
Yeah, after you guys battled side by side, you were able to get that 54 machine 2.5 seconds out in front of the 55 and the rest of the field. Definitely had some speed in the 54. Who helps get that 54 to the racetrack with that kind of speed?
Yeah, man. Well, iRacing got us there tonight, but my wife, my mom and dad, Barry Elvis Performance and Fab, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Coleman Design, oh man, just everybody that helps me. Winston, thanks for putting this broadcast on, doing a doubleheader on Tuesday. Hopefully we can be talking to you again here in just a little while.
Yeah, definitely would be cool. You were the only man this evening with the chance to sweep the evening, or to sweep the night, both races. Hopefully you can put up a good effort and put on a good show. We know you will be competitive in race number 2, but we wish you luck. But congratulations on your victory in the Super Race here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was Brandon Elvis, driver of the number 54 machine, picking up the victory in race number 1 here. We'll get the results for the Supers up on screen. Elvis, the winner in the 54 machine, then Brian Voss coming home second in the 55. Justin Coleman fourth, Connor Lee third in the 8 machine. Zach Murphy, and rounding out the top 5. You see the rest of your field right there. But we have all got to go get ready for race number 2. Thank you guys for tuning in to race number 1 here at the Concord Speedway. But don't go anywhere. We'll go to the other video, but we'll see you guys over there. Race number 8 from Concord. We'll see you guys over on this second video of the evening. But nonetheless, thanks for tuning in to the Supers. Peace out. I'm your host, Winston Deal.